Should you stop training when you get injured?
Most definitely not.
Hello guys, welcome back to the YouTube, to Mr. Strong, Mr. Tickle. I'm Mark Hayes.
I'm Emmett Quinlan.
And we have a guest with us today, Declan Fogarty, the man, the myth, the legend again.
Thanks for joining us, Dick. Good to have you with us.
Pleasure.
Yeah, so in this video we're actually going to discuss what to do when you basically get injured, and specifically if or how you're going to train around that.
Yep.
So it's probably something every single one of us, including you, the watcher, have experienced in the past. It's unavoidable getting injured.
Yep.
And especially when it comes to maybe training for the first time, or maybe you're in there a long time and you just can't seem to shrug off an injury, and it's maybe one of the down points to you actually getting a result that you want.
Yeah, definitely, and I suppose we have often seen it as well where people stop training if they get an injury, and that's the point of this video, is to get across no matter what happens, you don't need to stop training, and you shouldn't stop training. And I have a good long-term client here beside me who's been a client of mine since 2019, and he's had many injuries throughout that time, but one thing he's never done is stop training. And we were just discussing it here before we started the video, all the different clients we have who trained around injuries. My wife done a photo shoot with a broken foot. She had her foot in the boot for I don't know how long before it, trained around it. At the minute she has a wrist injury, she's in a cast, still training around it. No matter what injury you have, you can still train. Train what you can train while you fix what needs fixing.
That's the video.
Case closed, drop the hammer.
I know.
Tell us a little bit about your injuries at the minute.
So the ones I have at the minute the big one is the leg. It's the MRI came back. It is inflammation in the femur bone. So that's a real problem. So we don't know really how to fix it. Is the biggest problem. So it's trial and error. But
absolutely, yeah.
It's just training with it, just movement.
How did that come about, or did it just kind of flare
So it
up?
happened actually November 2024.
Right.
When you were powerlifting.
Powerlifting in that competition.
Yeah.
So I did that. I knew I was injured, but we just did the competition. But after that, then I just couldn't do anything. Couldn't walk. I was just constantly in pain, sitting down in bed. So I knew I needed to stop, get it checked out. So been to physios, but they thought it was a trapped nerve first, but it wasn't. So that was the delay on that. So physio now, MRI, and now we're just tip away. Train what we can train. Emmett is a good lad in the corner. Adjusted the sessions.
So to those who don't know, Emmett coaches Dec.
Yeah, and Dec is also, as you just mentioned, liaison with a physio who I also go to for an old NCT every now and again, and she's a really good physio, and Dec keeps me updated obviously with how he's getting on with her, and she keeps me updated as well to make sure I keep him in check and don't let him do anything that he's not supposed to be doing. And like that, we tweak the program whenever necessary. We add things in, like Dec said, it's trial and error. If something aggravates it, we pull it back out. We give it a bit of time, then we try add it back in, different squat variations, different lower body work, and we see what he can do pain-free, or as close to pain-free as possible. And there's loads of upper body work he can do, there's core work he can do, there's single leg stuff he can do, there's loads of stuff he can do to train around it while he fixes the problem with his physio and with my help.
Yeah.
The biggest mistake was I stopped training. That was my biggest mistake.
Right.
So since I got back to do something, you can always do something.
Yeah.
So that's
You didn't stop for long though.
I stopped for a couple of months before I got back with you.
Yeah. Yeah. So just to make that clear as well, Dec's been a client of mine since 2019, but took a break for a while he was doing powerlifting and was working with another coach, and then Dec came back to me.
Yeah.
Kind of like when Michael Jordan left the basketball for about 18 months to get there.
Similar enough. Yeah.
Very same. But no, since we're back now, so we're doing our little bits, like, and we're actually back into loading the leg now after taking a break from loading. So back to try and load it now.
Okay.
So there's always something we can do.
100%.
So during that time where you took time off basically doing anything, did you end up having any setbacks? Did you end up...
Yeah, so I actually, my hips became a problem because I stopped to walk.
Just inactive.
Couldn't walk, just purely from being inactive, yeah. So then I started building up my head that I had another injury, and I tore my pec. And then I started telling myself, I found myself in the gym talking about my injuries.
Non-stop.
And I think that was critical.
Yeah.
So it clicked then. I was out for a walk and I just said, right, I need to stop identifying myself
As being injured. Yeah, 100%.
And since I've done that now, we're flying it. We're back flying now.
Yeah.
You know, back.
Yeah, a lot of it is in between the two ears, isn't it? And don't get me wrong in saying that, like, obviously people get injured and it happens, but I think it was a thing I read about Brian O'Driscoll before, like any time when he was playing rugby and he got injured, if the doctors or physios told him you're going to be out for 6 months, straight away in his head he'd half it. So instead of saying 6 months, he'd say, right, I'm out for 3 months, or 3 months to get myself back. You can go the other way either. Do you know?
I think I identified myself as being a power lifter too, and I couldn't do that.
And
then the injury was becoming bigger. Do you know? So since I stopped all that talk, we're really pushing it on now, like, do you know?
Yeah, when you tore your pec, like you couldn't bench and you love benching, and now we're back benching up to 60 plus kilos. You couldn't do the bar a while ago. Do you know, just about building it up slowly and being smart with your training as well.
65 kilo yesterday, so catching mark again.
Bit to go yet.
It's on. But no, so it's going well. It's just about just work around it. You just train what you train and fix what you can fix. So you keep saying.
Yeah, I think that's, like, words are very powerful, especially for people that mightn't have as much of an understanding when it comes to their training, or because look, we're professionals at what we do. We're coaches. We've been in and out of this many times ourselves. We know if we end up experiencing pain or getting injured, we know how to go about it, basically. Like, not everybody walking around has a Brian O'Driscoll mindset.
No, definitely not.
So being told that they're out for 6 months, they're probably thinking in their head it's more like 10 or 12.
Exactly.
And that's when it can, as you said, become very overwhelming. So then you do just take to the bed, basically. And that's when the struggles, and it kind of just exacerbates where you're at. So that's why I always say to any client, no matter what the injury is, there's something we can do. Focus on what you can do. Don't focus on what you can't do.
Yeah.
Like we said there, with the lad, she was in the boot.
Yeah.
She, put it crudely, she has another leg.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, she has 2 arms. She has another leg to work.
Yeah.
Same thing. I have another client at the moment as well, and just at the start of summer, he was absolutely flying it with his fat loss phase. He was getting stronger in the gym. Getting up to 70 kilos on the bench, so he's passing Declan already. But he broke his foot just walking down a step, and he was told basically.
Tell me about this.
And he was told the same thing. He'd be out for several months, and it became a bit of an issue. So every week we have just sat down, we've talked it out. There, just this past week, he sent me a video of him taking his first steps.
Brilliant.
And during that time, he didn't have any home equipment. Straight away, he ordered home equipment. He got adjustable dumbbells, he got resistance bands, and we've been training the upper body during that time because he's been able to do that. And not only is that going to speed up his recovery just by being somewhat active rather than taken to the bed for the last 3 months, he's in a much better position now coming into summer, and if anything, it's just speeding up his recovery, as I said.
100%. And there's that aspect of it, and then there's helping him feel better as well. Like, if you're just completely sedentary and you go from training 3 or 4 times a week to doing nothing, you're not going to feel very good. Like, and you know, when we're training as well, we're much more conscious of our sleep, our nutrition, our recovery, our hydration. It just helps with everything. And you know, like Deck training his uninjured leg is helping the injured leg, and you know, your client there training his upper body, he's going to come back to the gym now much stronger with his upper body. So it's win-win.
Yeah, and there is scientific study, like, we're not talking over ours. There is scientific studies that show if you train the uninjured side, that it actually speeds up the rate of recovery on the injured side as well. So if you're looking at a limb or an arm basically, or a leg, whatever it may be, it will literally speed up.
The pec was a big one on that. We were lifting really heavy on this side.
100%.
Just being stable, it was like
flat dumbbell, single arm dumbbell presses.
He was doing incline dumbbell presses, he was doing dumbbell shoulder presses, like he was probably doing double the weight on the good side versus the bad side. But now the bad side, we'll call it, will catch up quicker, and you know, like that, he's back doing bilateral exercises now, matching the weight.
Brilliant.
I think a key for me at one stage was the check-in.
Yeah.
When you spoke about So I came doing the powerlifting, always having numbers to hit, goals to hit by the end of the week in the blocks. That kind of left me then for a while, and I was struggling with it. And I was training, I wasn't doing it. Then you spoke to me about goals, making little goals in each session. And I think that has clicked now.
Performance-based goals and the importance of them, like, and it's something that I do myself, and it's something that I try to get my clients to do, is having like certain lifts in each session that you're going in and you're working. Obviously you're trying to progress all of them, but set yourself certain goals. And like, using myself as the example, I've got a belt squat RDL, I've got a trap bar deadlift, and I've got bench press, like 3 big lifts in each of my sessions. And I go in, they're my first exercises, and I go in and I try and beat them all the time, and then that leads into the rest of the session. You know, it fires you up, you're pumped up to go in and beat that. And if you have certain performance-based goals in each session, it just lights that bit of a fire under you before you go in.
Yeah, for sure. And like that as well, we've all, as you said, you've talked in good detail about your injuries. We've both been injured as well. There's certain exercises that you
Can't do.
physically cannot do certain
Correct.
exercises.
Yeah.
So does that mean that you're bad because you're not doing the certain exercises, or does that mean that you can aim for exercises that you do enjoy, that are comfortable for you? That's all to do with just having a coach in your corner that eventually you found out what exercises suit you best.
Exactly. And I was actually thinking about that this morning because I knew we were going to discuss this on the podcast, and it's something I've never really spoken too much about. I remember touching on it years ago on Instagram, but back when I was boxing, I was diagnosed, if you want to call it that, with having spina bifida occulta. So it's where the 2 bones at the base of the spine don't fuse together properly, right? And there's a gap in it that you could fit your baby finger through, and there was talks of me having spinal surgery. And I said no to the surgery, and I started going to physio, like we've been talking about. And I worked around it, basically. And you know, I figured out, and I found out over the years, that I cannot perform barbell back squats or straight bar deadlifts without pain. And I've been coached through both of those exercises by Hafthor Bjornsson, the strongest man in the world, the Australian strength coach, Sebastian Oreb, with literally perfect technique, and had pain straight away afterwards, and had pain for days afterwards, no matter how light the load was or how heavy the load was. But I can belt squat, I can goblet squat, I can belt squat RDL, I can trap bar deadlift, I can barbell RDL. There's so many other movements that I can do pain-free and still make great progress.
Yeah, like we're not as passionate as I had been for powerlifting. I'm not married to the idea that everyone needs to be squat, benching and deadlift.
Yeah.
There's many an exercise that you
100%.
can do around that, and it's same thing again. If it's not even a case of that you're injured, but it's a case that you're just experiencing pain doing them certain exercises. That there are ways that you can go about it, but having just an experienced eye over you, getting a bit of form feedback and saying, right, let's swap out these low bar back squats for a pendulum squat or a bell squat where you're taking the load off your spine. See if you notice an improvement, and work away.
I was caught in that trap until I went back to Emmett. And it's only since then that's when I've come out of it, like, because I couldn't squat.
And
then I was going into the gym, struggling to squat, trying to force myself to squat, not knowing then what to do, like, and then throwing a strap, and that's it, I can't train anymore.
But again, there's so many different variations of all those exercises. Like, you know, the squat, for example, like you can leg press, you can hack squat, you can pendulum squat, you can bell squat. Not saying Declan can do these at the minute, but just for example, like if you can't back squat for whatever reason, there's so many other variations you can do. If you can't straight bar deadlift, you can trap bar deadlift. You know, loads of variations for every exercise.
Absolutely.
Like Declan, when he couldn't bench with his pec, he could flat dumbbell press, he could single arm dumbbell floor press, he could dumbbell shoulder press, he could machine press. There's always something you can do.
Yeah, and I think that kind of sums it up nicely. Like when you are injured, yes, you can absolutely train around it. It's not a death sentence.
No.
There's always something you can do. So I think that's a good place to wrap this up. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and if you have any questions, fire them into the comment section.
Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate it as always.
And make sure that if you're interested in our group coaching, we're launching M8 in September 7th, I believe.
September 7th,
Yeah, and that's going to be going to limited spaces. But like that, very same thing. If you're injured or if you're experiencing pain, guess what? You can still train around it. 100%. And the best place to learn more about that is down in the description below. So click that link, it'll bring you to the page and you'll get all the information there. But stay tuned in the future, and we'll leave you with that.
We'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.
Peace.